you guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Daniloveely, and today you already know we are going to be getting into a strange story today. And of course, I mean, most of the time I think almost all of my strange stories are covered by Mr. Balling, because you know that he just tells a story so well, as I always say. But yeah, apparently somebody and this one has like a secret or something like that. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into the video, you guys. I don't want to hold y'all too long with the intro.
Strongsville, Ohio used to be just another typical quiet American suburb. Nice homes, nice families, nice restaurants, and a mall. But in late 2017, a discovery was made in Strongsville that put this town on the map in the worst way possible. To understand this discovery, we need to go back to early 2016 when this town's nightmare began. In early 2016, two longtime Strongsville residents, Bruce and Melinda Pleskovic, received some very exciting news. Their 20-year-old daughter named Anna and her 20-year-old fiance named Jeff had just told them they were expecting a baby girl. And so Bruce and Melinda were totally excited about the prospect of finally becoming grandparents, but at the same time, they knew Anna and Jeff did not have very much money. Anna still lived at home with Bruce and Melinda. She did have a job, but she made very little money. She was a waitress at a local Applebee's restaurant. And as for Jeff, he had a better job working as a service technician for a heating and air company, but he didn't have enough money to support him and Anna. In fact, he didn't even have enough money to move out of his parents' home. He was still living with them on the other side of Strongsville. And so this couple, they're really excited about their baby, but Bruce and Melinda are thinking, you know, we really got to find a way to support them because they're just not prepared for this first child. And so Bruce and Melinda, they talked it over and they decided the best way to support this young couple was to tell their daughter if she wanted to, she could invite Jeff to come stay at their house. That way the two of them could be together, and once they had their daughter, Bruce and Melinda could be the great-grandparents and help take care of the baby. And in general, this would allow the couple to just continue to save money and move out when they were ready. And so when they told Anna they were willing to do this, Anna was so happy, she was so grateful. She called Jeff, and Jeff was equally happy and grateful and said, yes, I would love to move in with you guys. So it took several months, but finally in June of 2016, which was the same month that Jeff and Anna welcomed their daughter to the world, Jeff would leave his parents' home and move into Bruce and Melinda's home. And almost immediately after he moved in, he and the rest of Anna's family began experiencing some very strange and disturbing things around their property. Just a few days after Jeff had moved in, he and Anna were home alone. They were on the main floor of the house and they were having dinner at the kitchen table. And at some point, Jeff just happened to glance out one of the back windows that looked out into their backyard. And now this property had this huge sprawling backyard. Basically, they had all these houses kind of in a row, and they all had almost like a communal backyard, this big open space. And so Jeff is looking out into this huge backyard, and he sees off in the distance something strange. He doesn't really know what he's looking at because it's nighttime, it's dark, but he stands up and he walks over to the window, and as he's looking out, he sees way off on the backside of their property are these four strangers just standing there, appearing to be smoking something, and they're just kind of looking up at the Pleskovic house. And so Jeff is looking out the window at these four, not really sure what to make of them, and he calls Anna over, and so Anna walks over, and the two of them are looking out, not really sure what to do. I mean, on the one hand, these four people...
If y'all were him, what y'all doing? Are y'all calling the cops, or... I mean, is that even grounds for calling the cops? Oh, it's people. How close are they to the house? Like in the backyard? Or are they just real far out in the distance, just looking up at the house smoking? They could just be chilling, you know. But like, if y'all were him, if they close enough to the house to be like, okay, like you basically like too close to my house. This is weird. Like almost like you up on my property type stuff. Are y'all calling the cops, or y'all going out there?
What y'all gonna do? Know, or they believed they didn't know, were definitely trespassing But at the same time, they weren't really doing anything. They were just kind of standing there smoking. But as they're watching these four people, one of them begins walking up the property towards their home
Oh
and
yeah,
then
that
stops alongside the Pleskovic trampoline, which was in their backyard. And this person
that's
begins
too
fiddling
close.
with the trampoline. And so at this, Anna's like, you know what? I don't know what they're doing. I feel totally uncomfortable. And so Anna would actually call the police. And so the police, they come out, but by the time the squad car arrived in front of the Pleskovic house, the four people in back must have seen the car and they took off running. And so when the police officer went in the backyard and looked around, there was no one there, and there was also no sign they were there. There was no dropped cigarette butts or anything. They just kind of vanished. And so the police officer told Jeff and Anna, if they come back, let us know. And so the officer left. And then a little while later, when Bruce and Melinda came home, Jeff and Anna would tell them about...
Hold on, it says, because Mr. Ballman captioned it that somebody got a secret. So let me find out, because all this supposed to have started when her man moved in. Let me find out you owe these people some money. Is that what it is? Let me be quiet because I be watching stuff, and this is why my husband be like, I hate watching stuff with you because you be talking during the show, talking during the movies, and then I probably didn't figure it out in the beginning, just because it's like this just seemed like that's where it's headed.
What happened, and they would agree that that was totally strange, that in all the decades they had lived in Strongsville, they had never had anybody stroll onto their property and just loiter in the middle of the night. And so for the next couple of days, the family was definitely on edge, but after a little while, this whole incident was largely forgotten about. Fast forward about 5 months to November 2016, and Anna was home alone with her young daughter, and she's playing with her daughter on the first floor of the house towards the front of the house. And as she's playing with her daughter, she suddenly hears what sounds like someone trying to open the back sliding glass door on the back of the house. And so instinctively, Anna thinks, okay, Jeff...
And this is why you need to make sure your doors are locked. Like, unless we're getting ready to walk out of our home, I don't care what time of day it is, night, like the evening, afternoon, the morning. If we're in the home, the door needs to be locked, and all locks need to be locked on the door. Like, people are freaking crazy, and I've seen videos where people are like breaking into people's homes at night, and sometimes during the day, but oh my gosh, especially at night, and it just literally will just walk up to the door. Some of them just able to get in by just walking up to the door, opening it, and walking straight through. And you would think, like, as a robber or as somebody who's trying to do a break-in, why would you do the obvious and try to open it through the front door? Because some people are really out here just leaving their doors unlocked like that. And then especially like leaving it unlocked at night, I say it again, and go to bed. Like, how you even sleeping, like, knowing that you, I don't know, like, you could forget. Yeah, I forget a lot of stuff, but like, I don't, going to bed, like, I mean, you better off, like, okay, that's more understandable if you forget during the day, like, but at night, like, you getting ready to lay down to go to bed for the night, man, y'all, I make sure that my doors are locked, like, especially at night before bed. It's like OCD. I literally go to the door and, like, go back for, like, probably, like, 5 times. Like, I don't know.
Must be out there. Her parents must be out there, and they don't have a key or something. And so she scoops up her daughter, and she begins walking towards the back of the house to open this door for them. And when she walks into one of the back rooms, before she reaches the back door, she happens to look out one of the windows that look out into the backyard. And standing right up against the glass is this unknown male figure with his face pressed up against the glass. And so Anna just freezes and stares at this guy, and then this guy, he notices Anna, and he ducks down out of view. And now Anna's thinking to herself, this is the guy. He must have been trying to break in my back door. I'm home alone. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if he's going to try to break in again. And so she just turns and runs back towards the front of the house. She runs upstairs. She goes in a bedroom. She locks the door, and she calls the police. But by the time the police come out there and they look around, they can't find this unknown figure that was at the back of the house, and there's no sign of an attempted forced entry. And so unfortunately they told her, look, I'm sure this was very traumatic for you, but there's really nothing we can do here. There's no evidence to suggest who did this. And so please,
that's enough to make me want to move.
Locked, like, and if you see anybody suspicious on your property, call us back.
You can have
and
house.
So naturally, like, after the police left and Anna had a chance to contact Jeff and her parents, they were horrified and they rushed home to comfort her. And then after the initial shock of this incident had worn off, the family began to speculate, Do you think this might be connected to those 4 strangers we saw on our property a few months ago? It just seems odd that those two things would happen so close together. And then the family began to think, okay, well then, who is this person? Who are these people? What do they want? Why are they targeting us? What's going on? Because as it was, the Pleskovic family, they didn't have any enemies, at least none that they knew of. If anything, the people of Strongsville adored this family, especially Melinda, the mother. For the past 20 plus years, she had been a middle school teacher in town and her students adored her. She was also a big-time soccer coach in the community because she had played in college and she was still very passionate about it. So she was this amazing coach. And in the eyes of many parents in the Strongsville community, Melinda was a bit of an inspiration because she was not only the mother to Anna, she was also the mother of an 18-year-old boy named Kyle who had Down syndrome and was nonverbal. And Melinda just had this unbelievable way with him where she was so good to him. She incorporated him in everything. She got him so involved. She gave him the best life he could possibly have. And so anytime you saw Kyle with his mother, Kyle would be all smiles. Even though Kyle couldn't speak, it was so obvious his mother made him incredibly happy. But regardless of the reason for these strangers to be lurking around their property, the Pleskovic family was now totally on edge and found themselves constantly looking out the windows, especially at night, in fear these strangers were going to come back and might try to break in again. And unfortunately, these strangers would come back. In January of 2017,
well, they need to get a weapon. What is the law
after Anna saw that unknown figure at the window and heard the back door sliding around, Bruce's car was broken into. It was sitting in the driveway of their property. Someone got inside of it and stole his laptop.
And what neighborhood are they in? Like, and especially if you in a nice neighborhood, like, man, again, neighbors are nosy. Like, nobody else is like seeing this, or even if they not calling the cops, nobody else is like getting a picture of these people, recording them, something. Like, these people are bold, like, especially trying to break in there in broad daylight, standing around outside these people's house in the backyard in broad daylight. Like, you just supposed to be there. You just keep coming back. Like, you keep coming back and trying this same house too. Like, what is your obsession with this house? It has to be something connected with the boyfriend, because, like, why this house? Like, generally, if you failed a couple times trying to rob the same house, don't robbers generally move on and go somewhere else or something? Like, it's something with the boyfriend. It's something with the boyfriend. They just keep trying this house and they keep coming back.
This has to do with the people that are harassing my family. And the police believed him, and they began looking around and asking around, but they could never track down the laptop or the thief. And so once again, the family was kind of left on their own. And the police said, look, if you see anything else, let us know. But there's not much we can do here. A few months later, in July of that year, Anna, Jeff, and their daughter were all home together one night when Anna happened to look out one of the back windows on their first floor, and out on the very back of the property were 3 strangers just standing in that same spot where they saw those 4 strangers smoking the year before. And these 3 strangers are just standing there.
And the year before, this has been going on for a year? This has been going on for months? Like, are you kidding me?
Looking up at the house. And so horrified, Anna calls out to Jeff and says, look, there are 3 people in the back of our property. And so Anna, she pulls out her phone and she's calling the police. And as she's calling the police,
and then if the police
Jeff,
by the time the police
get
there, they keep
harassing him and his
disappearing.
family,
Somebody got to go out there and confront them at some point.
He just grabs a flashlight and storms out the back door.
One of the men of the house.
But as soon as Jeff went out the back door, before he could even shine the light on them, the 3 people had turned and ran and vanished. And so finally, when the police did show up, they were aware of all the calls they had gotten from this family. And so they went out there and they did a serious search for these 3 strangers. But like always, nothing was found. And so the family once again was told, if you see anything else, let us know. The following month, which was August, Anna was home with her daughter, along with her mother, who was upstairs. And as Anna is in the front of the house in the playroom with her daughter, she hears the sound of somebody trying to open that back sliding door. And now immediately her radar is up because she knows what happened the last time she heard the sound.
I wouldn't even be able to sleep.
But she's thinking, okay, I can't just immediately call the police. I need to at least look and see if there's someone that I know at the back door.
It's not. It's them. Call the police.
Up, she stands up and she walks around to the edge of the room she's in, and she kind of peeks her head down this hallway that will give her a clear view of this backsliding glass door. And once she finally has a full view of whoever is there, she screams because there are two large adults, as she would say, standing at the back door trying to force open this door. And so when she screams, these two strangers, they hear it, they turn around and they run. And Melinda, she was upstairs,
Then
she
they
hears her
keep
daughter
running.
screaming,
You
she
might
comes
as well try to
flying
finish the
downstairs.
job. You keep
She's
showing
trying to
up.
figure
You're
out what's
not
going
being
on.
successful.
Anna is hysterical, the baby's crying. And so Melinda
Stalkers.
actually calls the police about what her daughter has just seen. The police come out, they search the property, they can't find
And
any.
you know how scary. I can only imagine how scary this got to be. Like, that's got to feel like seeing a ghost. You hear somebody at your door and you going to look to see who it is, and then they're aggressively trying to open this. It's somebody that you don't know, like just a complete stranger. Like yeah.
And so again, the police leave and they tell the family, look, I'm sorry this is happening to you, but we can't do anything. So please just let us know if anything else happens, and we'll be out here as soon as we can.
Why? Because they're gonna be
We're
gone by
bound
the
to
time you
catch
get
these
here.
people, but,
At
right now,
this point, the police should just be camping out at their house for a couple of days or something like that. Like I'm sure that y'all have other people y'all need to help and stuff too. But there's no they don't have enough policemen around there that they can at least send somebody out there to like kind of do what they call them. They do circle around the house like with cases like this, or do a little camping out outside their house for a couple of days or something like that. Put them in an undercover car or something, because at this point, these people keep calling the police, and every time they come, these people keep running off, but these people keep coming back and harassing them and trying to get into this house. Like, look now.
we just don't have much to operate on.
This is
The following
ridiculous.
month, which was September, one of Melinda's car keys would go missing. And whoever had these keys, whoever had stolen these keys, would use it to randomly start Melinda's car in the middle of the night. And they also used it to set off her car alarm at odd hours
How
of the
did
night.
her car keys
and then
go
also
missing? It's
during
the
this
boyfriend,
time frame that
y'all.
her keys were
I mean,
missing,
I think it's
they
pretty
also
obvious at
discovered
this
that
point.
there were nails jammed into the tires of Bruce's car. And so, of course, the family calls the police and tells them about what's going on, but the police can't do anything. And so, very frustrated, Melinda actually takes to Facebook and posts that someone's stolen her keys and please just give them back. And just overall, she's pleading with whoever is harassing.
I would think it's somebody in the house. Like it's somebody in the house. And honestly, I would be thinking it's my man, because all this did not start until you moved in, and it was when it was just me and my parents. And it's not like what she do, drop her keys, bring the groceries in the house one day or something like that, and forgot to go back out there and get them, and maybe she didn't need to go to her car for a couple of days or something, and that's how they got the keys. I think that's highly unlikely, but yeah, your car keys just go missing. Especially if the last place they were at was in the house with you. Like, yeah, somebody gave them the car keys. Like, somebody took your car keys, and I would think it's my man. Like, what you got going on? What trouble are you in? Like,
alone. But unfortunately, this post would not do anything. The harassment would continue. A month later, on October 19th, Jeff was home alone when he heard the sound of the backsliding glass door rattling. And now he knows that every time this has been heard by Anna, that there's always some stranger at the back door. And so Jeff grabs the family dog and he very carefully turns and looks down that hallway towards the back.
And then y'all got a dog. What is the dog doing? You not alerting? You not doing your job? If I let you out there, are you gonna do your job and bite some booties like you supposed to? Like, the whole time they got a family dog.
To see who this is, and right as he pokes his head out, he sees there's this large adult figure with a hood up trying to open this back door. And so the dog sees this person and starts barking and running towards the door. Jeff runs after the dog, and this big person outside who's trying to break in, he sees the dog, he sees Jeff running, and he turns and he runs away. And so Jeff and the dog, they stay inside the house and they watch this guy just take off across the property and disappear into the trees.
Send that dog
Jeff
after
would call the police, but like always, the police came out and there just was nothing they could do. 4 days later, on October 23rd, Jeff, along with his young daughter and Bruce, they went to the local Applebee's where Anna worked to have dinner there and have Anna wait on them. And then after they were done eating, they said their goodbyes to Anna, they left the restaurant, they hopped in their cars, and they drove back to their house. When they got there, Bruce was the first up the steps, and he got to the front door, and it was locked, and so he knocked, and Kyle, his son, he came and unlocked the door. Bruce went inside, followed closely behind by Jeff, who was holding his daughter. They get inside, and Bruce walks through the house to the back of the house where the kitchen is. He flips on the lights, and there's something on the kitchen floor. And when Jeff sees it, he immediately turns around and runs out of the house carrying his daughter. He grabs Kyle along the way and just takes them straight out of the house. And then once Jeff was outside, he called 911. And when you listen to his 911 call, it sounds like Jeff is unable to process what he has just seen.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Somebody's been attacked in my house.
I knew somebody was on the floor.
Attacked.
They attacked who? Who was attacked?
Mel Pleskovic. Mel Pleskovic was attacked.
He was attacked by whom? Do you know?
She was. No, we just came home. She's on the kitchen floor.
Jeff and Bruce had just discovered Melinda lying on the kitchen floor. She'd been stabbed over 35 times and shot 3 times.
Gosh, that is a hate crime. Like,
although the family was in shock and couldn't even begin to process what had just happened, they were all acutely aware that whoever had done this to Melinda had to be connected to all of these strange and suspicious people that had been lurking around their property for the better part of 2 years. In fact, literally after Jeff had called 911, Bruce was inside in the kitchen kneeling next to his dying wife. And he called 911, and he would tell the dispatcher that the Strongsville Police Department really dropped the ball.
911, what city is the emergency in?
Yeah, honestly, I'm sorry, but I agree with them. Because like I said, these people, and this has been going on for months, like months at a time, like, and every time you guys get out there and the people just disappear, but they keep coming back, like harassing these people. Like I said, it's personal. Like, this is not no normal break-in, because I mean, if you keep coming to this property, you're unsuccessful, like, usually they would move on, I would think, like, but they keep consistently coming back to this place for this long period of a time after failed attempt, like, they want to get in their bed, like, they want somebody in their bed. Like, they should have did like one of them campouts or something, an undercover car, not a straight up police car outside the house, because of course they're gonna like not come around if they see a police car just hanging out around there. They need to be in one of them tinted out undercover cars, driving around the neighborhood, hanging outside their house for like a couple days or nights until they caught these people. Because these people this family called the police how many times now to come and see?
Come to one for Blazing Star. I think my
What's
wife
going on?
said someone. We've
tell
had
me
people breaking into our fucking house,
Sir.
and now someone killed her.
Sir, tell me the city you need to talk to.
Strongsville, Ohio.
Okay, you need to be transferred.
Yeah.
Don't hang up.
911, what's the city of your emergency?
How do you even be a dispatcher
Strongsville,
for
Ohio. We
911
have
like
people
that?
on the
That's
way
stupid.
already
What's the address?
for Blazing Star. I think
That
someone
job
killed
got
my
me
wife.
mentally
Do you
exhausted.
think someone killed your wife?
Yeah, it looks like
Okay,
she has
are
stab wounds
you-
on her back. We've had
Okay.
people trying to break into our
Sir,
house
sir,
all year,
sir, I
stealing.
understand. Sir, I need to ask you questions, okay? Are you there right now?
I just got in the door with my new son-in-law. My son Kyle was here
Okay,
with her.
sir, what I want you to do is walk outside.
The Strongsville Police Department would come out in force for this case, and they would solve it in just 4 days. And when they went public with who killed Melinda, no one could believe it. Back on October 23rd, so this was the night Melinda was discovered,
Don't say it was
Jeff,
the
along
son.
with his young daughter and Melinda and her son Kyle, they were all together in the house. And at some point, Jeff had put his daughter down in her playpen and then went into the kitchen where Melinda was, and he walked up to her, pulled out a knife, and stabbed her over 35 times. And then when Melinda fell to the ground, Jeff drew a gun and shot her 3 additional times to make sure she was dead. Now, while he was doing this, his daughter is literally just a few feet away, and Kyle, presumably,
kidding
is
me?
also right nearby. But he has no way of understanding what's happening to his mother. And so with these 2 totally innocent lives just right nearby, Jeff would clean off his weapons, and he'd take off his bloody clothes, and he would hide them inside of his car, and then he would just scoop up his daughter, and he would leave the house, leaving Kyle alone in the house with his dying mother in the kitchen.
That
just
is
leaves
sick.
him there, shuts the door, locks it, and then Jeff and his daughter would drive to Applebee's to have dinner with Melinda's husband and her daughter. And then after several hours, when they got back to the property, Jeff knew what was waiting for them inside, and he still allowed Bruce to go inside first and discover his dying wife on the kitchen floor. Very little is known about why Jeff did this, because Jeff has actually never come out and given his motive for the crime. The running theory is that Jeff actually was not going to be able to pay for the wedding, which was coming up in a couple of days, and the wedding venue had actually contacted Melinda and said, hey, we're canceling the wedding because your future son-in-law can't pay for it. And so Melinda apparently confronted Jeff about his financial troubles, and the theory is he snapped and killed her. However, that can't possibly be the entire story for why he did this.
No,
because it would turn out Jeff was found to be responsible for literally every single suspicious event that had taken place around the Pleskovic property leading up to the attack. Meaning, every time they had seen strangers lurking around their property or people trying to break into their house, that had been because of Jeff. Either it was literally Jeff outside being one of these suspicious people, or he had asked friends or hired someone or groups of people to pretend to be suspicious people on the property, or Jeff had been the only person to see these suspicious people, and then miraculously, when other people attempted to look outside, they were gone. And so obviously Jeff was lying. And so I actually had the opportunity to speak with one of Jeff's childhood friends who was actually living roughly in the Strongsville area when this horrible murder took place. And what this person told me is that what is kind of generally accepted as why Jeff did this, according to the people in Strongsville, is that Jeff apparently loathed Melinda. Even though she had opened her house to him, he loathed her. And as soon as he moved in 2016, he began plotting to kill her. And so all of these suspicious events were Jeff's attempt at building this really intricate alibi that they had these strangers out there that were targeting this family. And so that when she would ultimately be killed by him, it would look like these strangers had done it. And at first, it totally worked. Everybody believed, the police, the family, friends, that strangers had broken into the house and killed Melinda. In fact, there was so little suspicion on Jeff after her murder that Jeff actually served as a pallbearer in Melinda's funeral. But ultimately, the police would discover the knife and some bloody clothes in the back of Jeff's car, and so they would arrest him and they would present this mountain of evidence against him, and Jeff would confess to killing Melinda. However, he wouldn't give any additional information about the crime. He would just basically say, yes, I did kill her. He would also never give an apology or explanation to the family. He would ultimately be sentenced to life in prison with the opportunity for parole after 33 years. During Jeff's trial, there was this totally heartbreaking moment when Bruce, Melinda's husband, spoke. And he would say their son, Kyle, does not understand that his mother is gone. And so now, every time they go out to eat, which is something Kyle really likes to do and he used to love doing with his mother, he'll just sit and stare out the window, eagerly expecting his mother to show up any minute. But of course, she never does. So that's going to do it, guys. If you got something out of today's episode...
That is just crazy. And then I know they didn't say... he said the opportunity for parole after 33 years. No, he need to stay up in there. As people doing... look, we already know now. As people in there doing... getting the book thrown at them for a lot less of a harsh crime than what he did. No, he needs to stay in there forever, for life. He don't need no parole, especially you killing people and you ain't even giving no explanation as to why you did it. And I don't care why you did it. And then when you figure out the reason as to why these people did it, it be the smallest, dumbest thing. You're freaking crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. You clearly, it's some screws loose in your head. That... Ooh, my voice trying to go up, but that you thought it was okay to do this. Are you kidding? I told y'all, put me on the case. I told you guys that it had to be the boyfriend. I don't care if it was me, if I was a girlfriend. I don't care. We got a kid, we in love. But come on now, we putting 2 and 2 together, and it's you. 2 and 2, and it's you. Okay? Because all this stuff started happening right around the time you moved in. And like I said, see right there, with the keys going missing, it's you. It's you. I would have been looking, I told y'all I would have been looking at my man. You're my prime suspect right now. Why would he? Yeah, that's sick. That's crazy. That don't even make sense. Why would he? And I know dang well. I'm not even gonna say there's no way it could have been because of like the wedding venue or she asked him about his financial situation, because apparently this is the running trend with these serial killers, with these people. Like the last one we did with no, it wasn't the last one. Not the Jeffrey Dahmer one, but which was crazy too. But the one, it was like one of my first strange story videos. The one with the dude who apparently got the job at SpaceX. I'll put it in the end screen of this video, but apparently got the job at SpaceX or whatever like that. And well, he was lying about it. Killed his who did he kill again? Was it his dad? I think it was both his parents he had killed or some stuff like that, just because he was lying about going to college and getting a good job and all this other stuff. Look now, this is just crazy. This is crazy. Like, you really people are really crazy out here. People are really out here losing their marbles. Like, the screws is loose in the head, and the reasoning behind it it's already bad enough that you did the crime. And then your reasoning behind it has the nerve to be just that dumb. Like, that it just don't make no sense over something so small. Like, the reason the reason it just be so ridiculous, y'all. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around that. Like, that's just crazy. That's crazy. And then you got the nerve to have the little boy leave him in there seeing the mom die, and then your daughter in the playpen while you doing the crime. Like, that, this man is, look. But thank you guys for watching this video. Yeah. Let me know what y'all thought about this down in the comment section below. I mean, what else are y'all gonna think other than, like, who did y'all think it was when the story was starting out? Did y'all think it was like just some random people really just showing up at the property trying to rob them or something? Because at first, my suspect was always the boyfriend, and I just thought maybe he had owed somebody some money, or he got into some stuff, and they was really after him. You know, their whole point was their whole mission was to actually get him. But no, it was him. Like, it was either he hired some people to like, now that we know that, yeah, it was him all along. But as far as if people really were outside the house, because apparently the girlfriend seen something too though, so he couldn't have been making it up. But yeah, it's either he hired these people to scare them or keep coming around. So when he did do the crime to make it, and look, he had it all planned out too. He like, this got to at least go on for like months to a year, so it could just be even more believable that people were stalking us. So when she does get killed, like, we just kind of throw it on some random people that kept showing up or something like that. So either he, you know, hired these people to show up and keep stalking the house and stuff like that, just like I said, to make it seem like when he did do the crime, it wasn't him, or he hired these people to keep, like, to actually do the crime to kill her. But every time they tried to show up to do anything, either she wasn't at the house and it would just be the girlfriend or the dad or something like that, or that they were never able to get in because the door was always locked, and so, and he got tired of waiting, and he waited for the right opportunity, everybody was gone or whatever, and he went ahead and just came and did the job himself. But yeah, again, you guys let me know, who did y'all think it was? But thank you for watching, and of course, you guys know that you're going to see me tomorrow. And again, for specific uploads, you guys, yes, you know, I upload Monday through Friday. For those of you who don't know, welcome to the channel, you know. But yes, I upload Monday through Friday, and for specific uploads, just check that down in the description section below. Bye.